All right, friends, guess who, man? It's T-Bro. Guess who we're back with? Guess who it is? JasonBlaha, Strength and Fitness. You know, the gym lifting, recruiting lifting slave. All right, man. I got to review this video by JasonBlaha. JasonBlaha says 10 reps per week should be enough for anyone to make gains. What type of gains? Neurological gains or physical gains? Which kind? What kind? Physical in the physical world gains or neural adaptations in lifting a heavy weight. Anyways, let's see what he has to say.
If you are not making gains on 10 sets per week per muscle group, you are probably not training hard enough. Hey everybody, it's JasonBlaha here, and today I want to chat with you guys a little bit about...
If you're not training hard enough, if you are not making gains on 10 sets per week, you are not training hard enough, bro. Come on, bro. You got to train harder than the last time.
Yes. And the thing is, when it comes to this, I am not saying that there isn't data showing very high volumes of training can produce extra muscle growth. That's what we need to...
Oh, high volumes can produce high muscle growth. Oh, you mean adaptations? It's a possibility. It's a possibility you could.
Be very, very clear on with this. I am not saying that. What I'm saying...
Everything works in the beginning, and then it stops working. Why? Because something called the repeated bout effect comes in and protects it. Why don't you keep losing weight running down the street? Why does it stop? Why do you stop losing weight? It's a protection. Why do you only gain newbie gains in the beginning? You get a repair and a remodeling, and the muscle repairs and remodels stronger, but now it's resilient from further assaults. Why? How does it become resilient from further assaults? Because it repaired and remodeled stronger, bigger and stronger. And so now it's resilient from any more assaults. Get it? That's why it's not going to build any more muscle, because it's too strong now from getting damaged and getting you an adaptation. Hello. Yeah, man.
The thing is that every study that has ever looked at high volumes of training that found extra gains showed that it produced a very small amount of additional muscle growth.
Oh, he says a small amount now. Let me show you something, man. I'll just do a quick recap, a quick explanation here. Okay, so you go to Google and you just type in sometimes eccentric exercise and adaptations, and you'll see something pop up. And of course, there's a website at the bottom, neural adaptations, yada yada, eccentric exercise. Well, it'll say here, eccentric exercise. Doesn't say concentric. It says eccentric exercise induced adaptations include what? Muscle hypertrophy, increased cortical activity, and changes in motor unit behavior. All of which contribute to what? Improved muscle function. How do eccentric exercises without concentric improve muscle function? How does it improve it? Hypertrophy, increased cortical activity, and changes in motor unit behavior. Oh, yeah. When you go down here, like some NCBI stuff, when it comes to like eccentric exercise, they always say eccentric exercise, adaptations and applications for health and performance. It is not clear if eccentric resistance training offers a superior stimulus for tendon adaptations compared to traditional resistance training. Well, tendons and these, man, they don't have really, the blood doesn't flow to them well, and they don't get bigger, they get longer. Ligaments and tendons. So yeah, I'm not gonna open it up, man. There's just no point. So here's another one. Physiological and neural adaptations to what? Eccentric exercise mechanisms and. Eccentric exercise induced adaptations include muscle hypertrophy, increased cortical activity, changes motor unit behavior. That's the one that they posted at the top, okay? So you know it's not fake, it's from NCBI. Yeah, they go on to talk about more about these metabolic adaptations, eccentric exercise, metabolic adaptations. So eccentric training remain completely understood. There's so much on it. If I was just to type eccentric exercise, well, here's a very famous map. I mean, you probably have seen this before. I don't know if I could get this to come out properly. Why not show? Because sometimes it's kind of blurry. I don't know why. Yeah, it's kind of blurry. It's a good map. Shows you the adaptation process. Maybe I have to visit the website. I don't know. Let me see if it comes up. No, it comes up to some other site. It's unfortunate that one doesn't work. That one was a pretty good one, actually. I don't know. Yeah, that's too bad. But anyway, yeah, there's a lot of these so-called maps. You know, the satellite cell, the damage, hyperplasia, whatever. I don't know what else there is here. Damage, muscle damage, eccentric exercise mechanisms. Okay. One proposed mechanism adaptation is the increase in sarcomere number. One of the adaptations is an increase in sarcomere number in muscle fibers. Is one of the adaptations. Another adaptation is myonuclei. Get it, man? In these myotubes and sarcomeres and numbers and a whole bunch of stuff that comes with it. Oh yeah, you'd be surprised. Okay. Anyways, let's just go back here. I'm not going to get into the whole thing. I could, but I'm not going to. But anyway, yeah.
Right? It has shown a very small amount of additional muscle growth. To my knowledge, there has never been a study done where test subjects...
You know that feeling of having to rewash
muscle growth, where people in about that 8 to 10 set range who were training hard, where the researchers kept up with it, didn't gain robust amounts of muscle. Meaning...
You mean they didn't get an adaptation because they were adapted to the exercise, Blaha? Yeah, that usually happens that way, yes. It's like you're adapted. That's why you're not getting any more adaptations. Your body is actually becoming sarcopenic. I think you don't understand that as you age, you are losing the satellite cells. They're diminishing. And so you're becoming sarcopenic because of that. You're losing muscle mass because you're losing the satellite cells. You are wearing them out. Plus, you used steroids, so that accelerated the aging process. That started off a cascade of events to age you even further. Plus, you're lifting slave, that ages you, accelerated aging. You're constantly lifting a heavy weight, that is also diminishing the satellite cells, and it's contributing to a disease called sarcopenia. You could become osteosarcopenia as well. You could get osteosarcopenia, which is 2 in 1. Your bones, even though you think that you're lifting a heavy weight and you're going to get like this heavy weight is going to cause the bones to become like remineralized or some shit, whatever, because you're lifting. Not necessarily. You could still be lifting and you will still, because you are suffering from a disease, because here's the thing. I'll explain this, Blaha. It's mostly based on diet. It's not based on lifting. Lifting does not make you healthy if you're eating an unhealthy diet. Okay, let me explain this to you. If you are eating an unhealthy diet, which is contributing to all your autoimmune diseases and other diseases that you're suffering from right now, lifting will accelerate that. It doesn't correct that problem. What goes in the mouth corrects the problem. Do you understand me? That's how you fix these problems, these diseases that you are ailing from. I fixed all my problems when I started eating my natural diet again. When I cut out all the other shit, I just eat seafood, all kinds of seafood, different kinds, and I eat all kinds of different meats and animals and wild animals and shit. That's about it, bro. That's it, dude.
It is never...
And filtered water, very filtered.
Like only 20% of what the higher group gain.
Even my shower's filtered, and so are my taps in my home. Everything is filtered, bro, to the teeth.
It is always higher than 50%. All right? So what does this tell you? I mean, if you look at the data, what does this say? Because it's usually somewhere, so sometimes those slightly lower volumes, not necessarily rock bottom volume, because, 1 set per week would be rock bottom volume, right? 2 sets a week. But we start getting up, 8.
That'll be meaningless if you are adapted. And factory workers and construction workers eventually get adapted to their jobs. Any additional weight they're getting is because they're eating an unnatural diet. They're just putting on weight now, or whatever they're doing there. They get a few adaptations if they're doing specific things on the job, but not a lot. But you get some adaptations, of course. And then eventually you start suffering from sarcopenia because of the diet that you're eating is so unnatural. It causes all these problems.
To 10. It's usually something compared to the really high volume groups, something like 70 to 99% or even 100% of the muscle growth. Okay?
I mean, look at my videos, bro. I'm posing in my videos, Blaha. I've changed my diet. I'm getting bigger and stronger. I just ate at a buffet today with some people. And they're looking at me and they go, fuck, you look really strong. Like, you look built and strong again. Like, Jesus, what are you doing? And I told them, because look at what I'm eating. I just eat meat and seafood. I don't eat that other stuff. I don't eat any of that stuff. And I eat shitloads of it, I told them. Bucket loads of meat and seafood. That's it, bro. Get it? And I'm improving, constantly improving. My whole focus is to become better. Your whole focus should be to become better, Blaha, but you're not becoming better, you're becoming worse. The lifting is going to make you worse because of your diet. What you're eating will make you worse.
It's something in that range usually.
I'm trying to help you here, bro. I'm trying to help you, Blaha, okay? I feel sorry for you. I'm trying to help you. You need to stop putting cooties in your mouth, okay? Stop eating the cooties and start eating natural food, you bum.
But that means they all gain muscle. So,
what kind of muscle did they all gain, Blaha? What did they gain? They all gained muscle. What kind of muscle? Can you prove to me it was all muscle or it wasn't sarcoplasmic? What's muscle to you exactly? Well, sarcoplasmic, yeah, okay. Jesus.
that's been pretty consistent. They always gain muscle. So when someone says, well, I'm not making any gains, so therefore I need to increase my training volume. Well, how advanced of a lifter are you?
Let me get this straight. So when people aren't making gains, they say they have to increase their volume. So if they're not making gains, they never say I have to seek out new adaptations. Wow, they have to do more volume. Okay.
Because I've seen plenty of experts like Beardsley and others show that really advanced lifters sometimes can't handle the same sets and reps less advanced lifters can. They can't recover from it if it is sufficiently fatiguing. Right?
You will recover when you eat properly and take the proper time off to allow your body to rebuild bigger and stronger. That's how you recover. Hello?
If it's their 10 reps in reserve, or it's their 10 rep sets with 0 reps in reserve, they can't do many of those. Okay? And
Here's the thing. Let's say I've never used a hammer before and I start hammering like crazy with one hand. I don't know if you remember this. It was Clint Eastwood. He was in that last cowboy movie he did with I forget the actor. Remember they had him in that barn. He was hurt and stuff. He was hired as an assassin or some shit. He was a killer. He got shot. He was hurt. He was in the barn. When he got up, you know what he did? He got a hammer and he started taking the hammer and he started hitting metal with the hammer to get his hand to get a few adaptations to make it stronger. So he kept pounding the metal with the hammer. Now think about it. If you never used a hammer before and you started pounding this hammer all day, nailing, let's say you put in nails like crazy in some wall. I guarantee the next day you wake up, man, your arm is going to be like paralyzed. You won't even be able to move your arm. You understand me? Because there'll be so much damage in that arm that it's going to have to adapt by getting bigger and stronger, by repairing and remodeling bigger and stronger. So the next time you come in to use that hammer, it will protect itself from further assault because it remodeled itself bigger and stronger. Get it? And so now it's resilient from becoming damaged, and you can now nail all day long, forever. That's why they have people in these old armies in Europe before, like, I don't know, the Italian army a couple thousand years ago. They take a sword and they would stab that sword as many times as they could into a pillar. You understand me? And that's how they would eke out more adaptations. And let's say on the first run, the most they could make is 200. 200, they had 200 stabs, and by the time they reached 200, they couldn't move their arm anymore, they couldn't stab anymore, it was completely dead. Okay, they go to sleep, the arm repairs and remodels bigger and stronger. Okay, now they come back, they can do 200 easily, it doesn't fall down the arm. So what do? They keep going until they can't do it anymore. You get it? They go to 300 or 400, and then they just keep doing that over and over again. So to the point where they just go so far with it. Well, why is that? So when they get into a fight, their arm won't be exhausted. It won't fall down, and they get killed. You understand me? The difference between you and somebody else being killed is the person who can keep stabbing with a sword without fatiguing. You understand me? Without the muscle getting weak and your arm falling down. If it does, you'll be a dead man. You won't be able to defend yourself, and they'll stab you to death. So it's a matter of who could stab the longest without their arm falling down.
To do often has an absolute weight. You know, really advanced lifters, 10 rep max on a squat or a deadlift or even a leg press, like their true 10 rep max, is oftentimes way heavier than the less advanced lifters' 1 rep max. So you think in terms of the fatigue and loading, but you know, that aside, you know, people will argue that the really advanced lifter oftentimes has a much higher minimum effective volume. Yeah, true, but that minimum effective volume has a weight component. Volume is not always how many sets and reps that you do. Okay, I think on each exercise it also has a weight component. In other words,
A weight component? Okay.
3 sets of 10 with 300 pounds is more volume than 3 sets of 10 with 200 pounds. Okay?
Want to gamble?
You could say that.
Sets of 10 with 200 pounds. Okay?
Okay, but what happens? Okay, so he says 200 and 300 pounds. So a volume of 10 sets at 200 and volume of 10 sets at whatever, I don't know, 300. Okay, let's say that at 200 you did, I don't know, maybe 40 reps per set, but you only did 10 at 300. What would happen? Not really that much, to tell you the truth, because you were already adapted to 200. You did eke out more repetitions. You may get something on the first run, but by the time you do the second run like that, not too much. So go back to 300 and try to eke out more repetitions on the heavier weight. That's the whole point. If you could do that, I don't know, it's really hard for some people. See what I mean? It's a mental thing too. You can actually move the weight up to 30 or more. It's just you're giving up because your form is starting to not be as pretty as it was when you first started on the first 10 reps. By the time you hit 15, 20, it starts falling apart slowly. So you're more conscious in the gym thinking people are watching me. So, you know, look at me. I'm barely moving the weight around now at 30, but you're still moving it. Work is being done. It doesn't matter what your form is, whether it's short range or short form or whatever. The whole point is to make it to 30 or 40 repetitions on the heaviest weight. You want to get a new adaptation, don't you? But when you come back the second time, you get an adaptation at 40 repetitions doing 300. When you come back a second time and do that same rep scheme and set, you're going to be stronger. Why? Because neural adaptation and muscle growth.
So when we're talking about these minimum volumes, this does matter. And again, I'm talking about assuming consistent technique and form and range of motion, right? I'm not talking about changing ranges of motion and cheating more to get to that same weight. But in general, there's absolutely a tension component, and it has to be factored.
Yeah, tension component.
It is a factor. There's a reason with more advanced lifters, more of our volume needs to be the easier exercises. All right. In other words, squat, bench, and deadlift can only comprise so much of our actual sets per week. It's a reason you'll see me, doing stuff like leg extensions and lateral raises and things. Right? There's a reason they're in there, because I can recover from them easier set to set. So we do the big stuff with relatively low amounts of volume, and then most of our additional volume that we're going to do, it's pump work with easier exercises. That has to occur as we get more advanced.
What's he talking about? Pump work and all this? Man, he's making this stuff up. That's the problem with these fake bodybuilders, fake lifters, power lifters on drugs. They don't know anything. They're poor. They're poor at training people. That's why Michelle, his client Michelle, he keeps saying a natural lifter, is failing. She's failing because how the fuck could he train a natural lifter to get her to get any adaptations if he's never done it himself? He's faked it. His lifts are faked on drugs, on steroids, and so is his physique. And that really physique looks poor on whatever drugs he's taking. He should ask for his money back.
More novice lifters, not so much. They're just simply not capable of overtraining themselves on a back squat usually. Right? They're going to start seeing form degrade and performance loss well before it becomes a big recovery issue in the gym. Okay, that's more likely to get them. They still have the work capacity to maintain good form and stuff on it for high volumes. But the point is, everyone can gain on
good form on high volumes. You're not gonna have good form on high volumes. This is crazy, man. What are you talking about?
These sort of things, and I've seen it with advanced lifters. Again, I've taken clients who are advanced lifters who have very limited gym time, and we've done that sort of training. And they've hit 500-pound drug-free squats and things. It happens. Now, granted, they were eating a lot and they were sleeping a lot. Okay? Those are big factors. But the point is, when it comes to the really high volumes of training, when you're doing that, you are doing it seeking optimization of hypertrophy in a given period of time, maybe even just for a phase. It should not be how you get bigger.
What?
It's purely chasing more quality of size, right? Doing
more quality of size, yeah. It should be myofibrillar, not sarcoplasmic. Quality of size.
Work hoping to elicit a slightly more robust response. Okay, but I can assure you that you are
slightly more responsive, robust response. Blah 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 blah. I love Blaha, man. He loves to make up stuff, doesn't he? Pretend a faker of sophistication, dude.
Never going to get so advanced that 10 sets a week produces no muscle growth.
You're never going to get so advanced that 10 sets do not produce muscle growth per week. Per week? Are you people making muscle growth? Listen to this very carefully. Guys, are you making muscle growth every single week? Is the scale going up every week?
And again, going back, if you guys recall, I've had some clients who did less than that and still made good gains, who were advanced lifters.
Good gains who are advanced lifters. Okay.
We've absolutely seen it. Absolutely seen it. Again, I've seen as low as 6 sets for things like pecs and quads, and watched lifters get bigger and stronger. Who were already in that 300 bench press range, 400 plus squat range. Absolutely happens. They trained hard. I've had lifters who train 3 times a week doing that sort of training. Now, I like 4-day upper lowers, but I've seen...
He likes 4-day upper lowers? Hey, seen people train that's getting what?
Plenty of lifters do a 3-day push-pull legs type setup in a squat bench deadlift day and then accessories around each one.
Push, pull, and accessories. Yeah, okay.
Who got real big, who got real strong, doing even less than 10 sets. Right? Context.
He got really big, really strong, doing less than 10 sets. Yeah, muscle damage requires a pretty high rep range for that muscle fiber to micro tear to get an adaptation. I don't know what he's talking about. What big this guy got under 10 reps or whatever he was doing. He got big what? Eating glycogen all day?
Alright guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's
Should I say carbs?
been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.
That was so uninformative. What a video, man. Man, this guy's losing it. I'm telling you, he's lost. Blaha. See you in the next one, man. Tell me what you think about that. Like, subscribe, helps with the algorithm, friends. I'll see you in the next one. JasonBlaha again. He just loves making up stuff. He doesn't know anything about lifting. He doesn't know anything. It's crazy.